If your money isn't earning yield while you sleep, you're doing it wrong. Simple and straightforward. So this video, what we're going to do is quickly jump around and compare kind of the crypto and stock market and get rid of some of the actual stigmatism that I suppose there is between the two. So we're looking here at this moment in time at the Bitcoin chart. You can see here Bitcoin, we had a pump up a sell. This is a weekly chart, and overall the trend is still obviously we're going up. We do have major pumps and drop off sell offs. And if we look at the S&P 500, you can see similar enough. It has been steadily increasing sell-offs, steadily increasing sell-offs, steady, and so on and so forth. So just to get rid of that whole thing, I've talked to people, friends and family and stuff that talked about this, and they say you put $1,000 into the S&P 500, I know it's going to be worth a bit more in the long run. However, that's not always the case. If you put it in $1,000 over the last week or two into this, you're down money. Same as happened as if you put it into crypto last week or two, you're down money. So markets go down, markets go up. I think that's the key thing to remember. Big thing here is what we want to do is we want to earn yield and we want to generate real yield and passive income and things like that. I'm going to try and show you this how I can do it, how I do it now. And again, we're focusing on the real yield aspect of things, not some just kind of numbers and things like that. The proper yield that we can get in return. So with that in mind, what I'm going to do quickly here now is we're going to jump over to I want to go through 3 platforms, and obviously in this case what I'm doing is showing you a simple enough process of how it can be done. So before I do that, if I just bring this image in here, hopefully you can see it. So on average, most crypto projects can get roughly 25%, and when I say 25%, this is like the low end of things. S&P 500 gives you roughly 7 to 10% on average a year, and this is I've asked AI this, I went through Google and stuff like that, and that's the average return. And what I can see is about 7%. With crypto, I know I can get 25% easily through it. And again, just to showcase this, if we jump on over here to my own channel, I posted this strategy only a couple of weeks ago, I think a week or two ago. I was getting 23% in a completely stable position, and that was very little work on my end had to be done. Just understand the platforms and the protocols and things like that. Again, is this position here, which is I'll touch on in a minute, but it's another really good position again. So like when most people will always argue, the fact is, well, if I put in 1,000, I want to know my 1,000 is still going to be worth 1,000 at the end of the year, and that is a valid point for a lot of people in crypto or that are looking to get into crypto. So I know if I put my 1,000 into this, markets continue while they're going, it could potentially be worth 1,000. However, not entirely true, I suppose, when you look at we try and find a chart again here. So if it's a case we do sell off, like did happen over here, it was almost, what was it? We had a high here in December 21, and then it was going down, 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 and stopped in October 22. So that's almost a year and a half, 2 years of downward momentum. So if you got into it here, it's going to be worth less. Simple and straightforward. And I think no matter what you do, you're down 30% there nearly on that. No matter what you do, you have the risk of losing money in stocks, in crypto. However, the key here is we want to try and make money as fast as we can and things like that. So this is pretty much of how I would do it if I was comparing both of them to one another and helping build in a system. Now, again, this is something that I am starting to do more and more of within my Discord group. I'm starting to go over a bit more strategies and things like that and discuss of how you can actually earn through crypto. So with that in mind, first things first, we're going to SwapX. This is a decentralized exchange and liquidity provider on Sonic Chain. I will just do a lot of this on Sonic for the time being, just to kind of get you an idea of how it works. So you can see here straight away the APRs. There's a lot of high APRs and stuff like that. Now, people instantly are going to be like, well, I'm not putting into an APR because I'm going to risk and permanent loss, things like that. However, the key here is what we're trying to do is we're wanting to avoid this as much as we can and reduce our overall exposure to permanent loss, and at the end of the day, get the gains at the end of the year. So an example here straight away I can see is obviously this one is Wrap Sonic and Origin Sonic, 100% stable position in terms of how they're pegged to each other. Yes, the value of Wrap Sonic or Sonic can go up and go down, which will change your overall value here. However, because the two of them are joined together, one is an LST, basically you're getting 13%, I think, is it? No, you're getting 15.53% if you provide liquidity in the Origin Sonic side. So straight away off the bat, we're getting 15%. We're already almost double, over double of what the S&P 500 is delivering. So again, ignore the actual value of your token assets because, like I said and like I mentioned, markets go up and down, crypto projects go up and down. However, the key thing here is we want to get into positions that are relatively stable and secure. So like investing into Sonic token is like, for me, is like investing into Bitcoin, like investing into, say, Ethereum, for example. They're going to go up, they're going to go down. So I'm happy enough with that. That's my first kind of area that I really look at and pay attention to. So there I have already 15, 16%. And as you can see in the post I done back here, I think it was a similar enough position. I was getting 20 something percent. So again, you know, it is high percentages. There's another, that's another one I think was a similar position at 32%. We'll just quickly see how much has that dropped. So that's the BES one. We go up here and quickly search for it so you can see it. So that's 20%. Again, it's a stable position again. This is more of a concentrated liquidity position. So that's how you're going to get your higher percentage. That's how you're going to get up to the 20%. So again, Origin Sonic is an LST version of Sonic. BES is the same as an LST version of Sonic, which is just provided by Beefy Finance. So as I mentioned, we are up already. We have two options there. We have 15% or we have the closer to 20%. We're way up again. Now, we can obviously decide, look, let's be a little bit risk side. We want to make money at the end of the day. And we want to push this out a little bit further. So we have a load of options here again, but again, paying close attention to what we want to get into. We want to get into and stay on our S token. So just before I jump into that, you can see here also we have stable kind of positions. We have one with 12%. We have another one which is 14%. And again, it's on real returns. And I think most people, if you're watching this and you're well used to crypto, these percentages are too low for you. I know I would have been like that mindset for a while. The APRs are too low. I don't want to earn 15, 20%. However, I'm more than happy to earn 15, 20%, beating the S&P 500, doubling 2x in what they're earning per year. And I'm pretty much in complete control of how I manage and the systems I build out. So with that in mind, what we're going to do now is we're going to jump over to another platform just to show you how you can potentially earn a little bit more. So over here on Shadow, you can see different LP positions. Now again, this is going to be a little bit riskier position because at the end of the day, we're looking to gain a few pounds. So in this position, we're looking at is SUSDC. You can see here at this moment in time, the APR for this is 790%. Now this is just a crazy APR. So just bear in mind with this. Now, the one thing to remember here is you're always going to have impermanent loss. So naturally what happens as the price rises, it starts selling your token into USDC. And as the price drops, it starts using your USDC to buy S. What we want to do is look for ranges. We want to make sure we're secure and in a stable position. We don't want to go out of range, and we're happy enough with this. So again, if we go back to my X account, this is where I just discussed this there the other day. So I've been in this position here for the last month a bit, I think, and probably a little bit longer if I really go back and look at. But we go over here, I tweeted this out. You can see here the range for the last month roughly on CoinGecko for the S token. You can see here that it's went up to around 60 cents, down to around 40 cents, give or take. So again, you can set this up to be passive if you want to. So, or even here, so around 40 cents. And if we decide to move this up to 60 cent range, quickly see can we move this. So roughly that's our range if we're comfortable in. For the last month, you can get 180% on that. Over obviously the extended if you had a run for the year. Now, as I said, this is just crazy to think that you can actually earn this. Now, we can obviously be riskier and bring this right into roughly where all the liquidity is. You can see this bar here is where all the liquidity is built out. And we'll bring it right down to that. Now we're up to 527% here, earning real yield again, which we can happily use. I think this is a big thing that a lot of people have to kind of start understanding what you can do with crypto and DeFi especially on Sonic, is you bypass your traditional sectors and traditional finance, I suppose, but really start to get the gist of how things are working. And with Sonic here, for example, I don't know what's beeping there now for a moment. So yeah, so with Sonic here at the moment, you can see potential yield you can earn here. And again, with SwapX, this position is relative safe in terms of impermanent loss and overall value. Obviously, we have risks involved with crypto, but you try to minimize these risks as much as you can. And again, over here, you can get a percentage. If you're just more interested in lending and borrowing, we're already matching almost the S&P here already by just lending stable coins. There's one there for 7.1%. At the highest there at the moment. Another one here is 8.5%, 8.3%, 8%. And this is before we even get into our overall strategies of what we can do with looping and things like that. And that's a bit more of what this process is. It's a bit more of looping rewards and things like that. So look, as I said, I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to try and bore you to death too much with all this, but just to try and get an idea of how you can actually earn in crypto. And I think that's the key thing, and how you can actually beat the S&P 500 by using crypto, and you don't have to risk it by investing into meme coins and risking 100% of your portfolio on some crazy meme. Build your own wealth, build it by crypto, build it in Sonic with DeFi, build out solid strategies in places like that. And again, I'm not harping on about it, but I've been in this position for a while now, and it has pretty much just allowed me, like down here, to earn this SwapX token, which I'm able to trade or lock in and grow my bags. Take it from me, I haven't bought crypto in the last, I think, 4 or 5 years. I've literally been growing my bags regularly. Yes, the value goes up and down, but I'm growing my bags regularly through farming and yield farming and things like that. And that's just the key to how you're going to succeed. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. What we're going to do is we're going to leave it there for today. Again, if you're interested in joining the Discord group, let me know in the comments. I'll get the links sent straight out to you, and you too can start building out your strategies and start beating the S&P 500 at least 2x easily per year. So thanks very much for watching, and I hope everyone has a great day.